and good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Footstep Show. This month is a special month because it is the Ghana month. Yes, tomorrow, 6th March 2022, will be our Independence Day in Ghana, 65 years on. And today, we'll be talking about the Ghana month, the cultural identity crisis as a Canadian born to a Ghanaian parents. So today, I have my guest, Caleb OWUSU, who's from Montreal. Welcome, Caleb.
Thank you for having me, Cecilia, and I'd like to thank all those present with us this afternoon, at least from where I am. So thank you again for having me.
Yes. It's been a long time, yes.
Definitely a long time.
Yes. So you are a student, right?
I am a student. I am a graduate student at the
Okay.
University of Ottawa.
All right, great. So why do you think it's very important to celebrate the Ghana month?
Well, as we become more polarized, as we become more divisive in today's world, it is greatly important that we maintain our roots as people, and part of maintaining our roots is understanding where we come from, not only historically but culturally, and celebrating the Ghana month is a perfect way to demonstrate that we're proud of being Ghanaian, we're fearless about being Ghanaian, and no matter what, till the end of time, we will defend and cherish and promote our values and our traditions as a Ghanaian people. It's easy to do back home in Ghana, but here in Canada, here in the United States and Europe, it's definitely hard because for a number of reasons. Number one, you're not the only person, let's say, if like African in where you are in your environment who wants to celebrate and cherish their culture. Number two, they may not be enough people like you, whether in school, whether at work, whether in your neighborhoods, who look like who are able to cherish it as much as you can in your own circles. And the last reason I would say is again, it's because of how polarized we are as a society, how we are drifting apart as a people, and forgetting who we are as a people. So again, it's important to identify who we are as a people, and part of that is again celebrating Ghana month, Ghana independence, and our vitality and our resistance as a people.
Great. I agree with you on that because, like you said, you being born in Canada here, like you said, in Ghana is different because everybody's there. We can celebrate all month long, all year long if you want. But here, as you said, it's different. We're full immigrants here a lot, like from different various countries. So it's very hard to celebrate Ghana months in Canada here, especially let's say Montreal, Ottawa, because of our Canadian heritage that we have as being born here, and then having our parents implementing their cultural thing into us. So how did you grow up? Like, I know both of us were born here, but how did you grow up as a Canadian being born to Ghanaian parents coming from Ghana,
Very good question. Before I start off, I'll just say I'm one of three children, right? I'm the elder child. Then I have my younger sister and my younger brother. So just to let that out, we have three kids in the family. Now, personally for me, I'll start off by saying, growing up, I was very stubborn as a child, and most of my childhood I struggled with understanding who I am as a person, my identity, and being born as a Canadian to Ghanaian parents added to that struggle. For example, I attended schools that were predominantly with white people, with white kids, right? And I never really had the chance to talk and communicate with fellow Ghanaian kids, aside from other than church, other than community events. What that means is what that means is, unfortunately, I would spend more time with my white friends, with my brown friends, with my Indian, Pakistani friends, and not enough with my own people. Not enough with my own people, my people from church, people from community events. So definitely, it's been hard, and while it may not be my place to speak on behalf of my parents, I understand the struggle they went through. Having to ensure that their kids maintain their identity as Ghanaians while adapting to this environment, to this country known as Canada, right? Canada does things very differently, unlike Ghanaians in Ghana, right? So part of that experience requires balancing the two. Balancing the two. Some Ghanaian people are able to balance the two, but again, for me, it's been very hard growing up. It's very hard growing. And as of recently, I've realized the struggle, and I'm doing my very best to return to my roots, to understand that fundamentally, yes, my birth certificate says Canada, but at the end of the day, I am Ghanaian by blood. I am Ghanaian by heritage. And it's very important that I retain that identity, or else it will be hard to pass on those values, those traditions, the cultural ideas as Ghanaians to my children and my grandchildren.
Jump in out. I'll say from my perspective, like being the oldest one and have a younger sister. I remember going to elementary school. We were too young, but high school,
Mm.
where I went to school, was a lot of immigrant kids, like from Philippines, from mostly were like Philippines, like Asia, and then African, like those French
Mm-hmm.
African. So I remember, and then the Arabs, and like those from Algeria and all that. So in high school, we were able to relate well with ourselves because we had some that were born from Africa, and we were able to relate ourselves well because we had so many things in common that we
Mm.
were all struggling to like try and implement our like background that we learned from home into school. It was very hard because you also have the Quebec traditions and the Canadian traditions to be inside the school. So you're like we were all struggling. So I remember the only time we come together is when we had the African Cup of Nations. Like
Mm-hmm.
when countries were playing between each other. Like I remember Ghana against Cameroon. I had a Cameroonian friend. So we will not speak for like the soccer match. Or sometimes we'll
Mm-hmm.
go to a small place. It was during lunchtime. We'll go to Plaza Codenej to watch the soccer, during that hour and come back. We will debate our country was better. And, they'll start doing, but it was fun because we're able to relate ourselves with soccer.
Mm-hmm.
The most of us in
Mm-hmm.
Africa were known for playing soccer, right? And even though if
Mm-hmm.
you had independent days, like we'll have like some of us. I remember in high school I used to wear my coat, like my Ghana jersey. It's Ghana Day, it's my day. So I was proud to show that even though I was in high school, I had some African friends I can share with. Even though like growing up
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like Quebecois, and it was very hard because you can't. There's certain things that like a Ghanaian parents told you not to do, but there you are when you're in school or even at work, you see them doing like but it crashes a lot. So you have to like I find that most of us we have to like adjust ourselves to the Canadian tradition and the Quebec tradition that we
Mm-hmm.
have here, and then
Mm-hmm.
have it back our mind the Ghanaian tradition that our parents taught us while we're home. So I find that, like
Mm-hmm.
you said, it's still a struggle. Like we're getting adjusted. Sometimes, like the youth of today is a struggle because they have so many ideas that they learned in at home from with their parents that they cannot implement at
Mm-hmm.
work. Because it's very hard because they might be judged by the peers around them, and then they might be depressed because what they want to implement is not working out. So, like you said, it's very hard. And I think being part of the Ghanaian community in Montreal has also helped me to shape who I am today as well. So I think it's very important, like you said, even though like I think the schools should allow us to show our because I've seen that now in school people are showing like Ghana month, like maybe Black History Month that just but they will have like little shows where people will
Mm-hmm.
implement I know Vanya College used to do that. They still do
Yeah,
Vanya
yeah,
College. Like
definitely,
Black History
definitely,
Month, they will
definitely.
have months for the African people, for Black Americans to show their cultural thing there, which was good. So I think that now schools are starting to implement those Black History Months.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that with Ghana Month, I think it needs to be fused in there, so we can be proud of
No,
ourselves as youths being born in Canada here, or in Montreal specifically, that we shouldn't be ashamed to show our
absolutely,
cultural, yeah.
absolutely. I have a story from high school that's very interesting. So,
Yeah,
in high school, so every year, my high school would organize these International Day, United Nations
yeah,
Day, all those days. Okay, and every year, I would bring jollof rice, and I would explain to my friends, oh, I'm bringing jollof rice to school, and they would ask me, oh, what is jollof rice? What is jollof rice? What is fufu? And I would tell them, oh, this is the dish. This is how we eat the dish. We mostly eat the Ghanaian dishes with our hands, more with our hands and less with like knives and spoons. They would all be confused and say, and ask, wait, why do you Africans still eat with your hands? Is we're in 2012. Use knife and fork. You have to stop eating with your hands. And I would tell them, no, 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 no. It's not that we don't. It's not that we don't have knives and forks at home. It's that it's part of tradition and culture to eat with our hands because you know we Africans, we don't have we Ghanaians Africans, we didn't grow up with a lot, and we had to use our hands to work and to eat and to play, right? So I would bring the jollof to school. I would tell them what it is. Yes, I would have to remind them that, oh, it's a little spicy, and some of you may not be able to handle the spice. But as soon as I would give them a plate, they would say, "Oh, I love it. Oh, it's very delicious, very flavorful, it's very spicy, but I like it." And it's those kinds of moments, those types of opportunities that gives us as Ghanaian people an opportunity to showcase who we are as a people through our dishes, through our cultures, through our music, through our dancing, through the speaking the tree language with friends of ours at school. It's something we have to do our very best to continue moving forward today.
yes, yes, yeah, I agree. Because I remember in high school when I see one or two guys, oh, I can relate with them because we can speak the
Mm,
same dialect. You know what I mean? But
mm,
some of them too, they don't understand the dialect, which is kind of frustrating. Like, I can't really really talk with them in my local dialect because they don't understand because the parents
mhm,
didn't really
mhm.
teach them the local dialect. Which makes it hard. But it's all part of the culture. So, in your view, why do you think that the youth of today, like our generation, the generation that are coming up, are going through a cultural identity crisis?
It's a relevant question. Okay, just to give context, right? Just to give context. Here, our generation, especially the generation living in Montreal and Quebec and in Canada, we have to compete. We have to compete with the Canadian culture, the Quebec culture, and our own Ghanaian culture. And as I've spoken to myself as a date on this in this conversation we're having, it's something I've struggled with. I'm sure a lot of Ghanaian peoples are struggling with making sure that they keep their Ghanaian identity, but adapting to the Quebecois identity or the Canadian identity. So just to set the context, right? But as to your question, why are youth of today going through a cultural identity crisis? It's because of how global the world has come in terms of the friends we make, the food we eat. What I mean by the food we eat is, yes, we can eat the fufu, the banku, the jollof, the jollof and the shita at home. But when we go outside, when we meet our friends and our coworkers, we tend to eat we tend to eat the food they give us, right? That's one. You can look at it one way. Another way you can look at it is, the friends we make and the people we choose to associate ourselves with. If they are not Ghanaian, or if they are not African, oh, for sure, you'll see yourself adapting to their customs and traditions, right? Customs and traditions, right? And another thing is, yeah, where you live. And another thing is where you live. Say you're a Ghanaian. Say you're a Ghanaian living in, like, I don't know, Germany. Germany, you'll Germany. If there are not a lot of people who look like you in your neighborhood, then you're gonna find it easier to adapt and to accommodate yourself into that dominant culture. And until we find a way to populate more of our people in places like in Montreal, for example, in Toronto, in Vancouver, and all around the world, it's going to be a struggle to maintain those cultural relationships, those cultural links with people who look like us, no matter where we live, no matter where we work, and no matter who we associate as an individual in work, in school, in places we hang out.
I think I agree with you on that because, like you said, it depends the neighborhood. Let's say maybe if you live in Côte de Neige, Côte de Neige is known for the Asians. That's known for Africans. So at least there's like different types that you can live in. If you go to Park Extension, we all know it belongs to the Greeks. We all know it belongs to Pakistanis and everybody. But you know that at least in Park Extension, there's Ghanaian stores around that is there. So it doesn't. You say, okay, at least this Ghanaian store like Marché Ghana kind is there, Marché d'Afrique is there. You have Mama Africa that is there as Ghanaian stores in Park Extension. But if you go to other places, like you said, you won't find like African stores per se. You might find like maybe Walmart. So you have no choice to do your grocery over there because that's where it's closer to you with home. But some of us that know that we know that this place is closer, we go. We don't mind traveling all the way there to get the spices and the Ghanaian stuff that we need for our house. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's a struggle because we're trying to adapt the Quebecois way, the Canadian way, like the history that they gave us about Quebec. You're trying to implement it in yourself. So in order for you to to adjust it, and then it's very hard because sometimes you it's very hard to juggle the two. I find that it's very very hard. I think if we were like I said, I assume if all our parents were born here, I think it would have been a different thing. You know what I mean? Same thing. Let's say if I remember I went to Ghana and I was with my cousins, and then they were doing something like, I've never done this before. Like this is something new. Like it's very like we here in Canada we follow the laws like law for law like what it is. Whereas in Ghana is like the laws are not really working per se. Like a little freedom. So when you come back here, like, but in Ghana they can do this, but here we're not allowed. It's like, you see, there again, it's like cultural identity crisis. That's why I think in 2019, a lot of us went to the year of return to get to know about Ghana more because I find that we are not really introducing ourselves at Ghana. And I always encourage my friends that you need to go to Ghana because Ghana is a beautiful place to be, regardless about like the negative part. I've been to Ghana 3 times already, and it's beautiful. Like you get to see your families, you get to know their values as well, and it shapes you as the person you are today, regardless of being a Canadian born or a Germany born or which country you were born and that your parents came. They all have their goals and reason why they came to Canada per se or Europe. So I always encourage the youth that if you get the chance, go to Ghana. Like I said, Ghana is a beautiful country to be in, and you learn a lot from your cousins, from your friends that that been to Ghana before. You can even go with them, and they'll be glad to show you around. So my Canadian youths or all the youths who are born outside of Ghana, please do the chance to visit Ghana this year at least once in your life to experience the Ghanaian culture as part of the Ghana month. Do some research about Ghana. If your parents were not willing to help you, do some research. And that's how I started. While my parents were still teaching me the Ghanaian way, I still did research. And that's how I got in the Ghanaian community of Montreal for so long till now. So my next question for you would be, Caleb, like how can a person be involved in a Ghanaian community?
Oh,
You know.
that's a very good question. I'll tell you. I'll explain my way of doing it, and maybe others attending the event tonight can inspire themselves. How I do it is through church, right? In church is the first way you can immerse yourself. You can make sure that you maintain your Ghanaian identity, your Ghanaian culture, right? So church, whether it be through the generational groups, whether it be taking part in Bible study, in evangelism, in prayer. Another thing is, being able to associate yourself and hang out with people outside of church, from people from church, outside of church, in other surroundings, whether that be, oh, I don't know, going to watch a movie, or inviting the person over for lunch and eating the traditional meals, or meeting new Ghanaian people outside of church, but who are still involved in the community. That's how I do it. Another way I do it is I keep I keep myself in touch with a lot of the community leaders. In the event, they want my insights on a lot of issues impacting the Ghanaian community in Montreal. Montreal, as we all know, we are not a lot in number, especially in major cities like Montreal. We are not a lot in number, so it's important. It's absolutely important that you maintain those connections. You make new connections, and you find ways to bridge those connections between yourself and other people who are able to lead yourself there. For Here's another example, right? We all know that most of the women in our community, work in the health field, in the medicine field, as nurses, as PABs, préposés aux bénéficiaires. That's the French term. If you see someone who's working in a particular field that you see yourself in, who so happens to be Ghanaian, please, befriend them. Befriend them. Get their contact information, and get to know them. Get to understand how they went from point A to point B in terms of their career. Where do they see themselves going in like 5 years as a Ghanaian person? And I mentioned because again, we are not a lot in number. So any opportunity that is presented to us as youth, whether it be in business, medicine, finance, engineering, science, politics, take that opportunity to put yourself in there, and meet like-minded Ghanaian people. If you're unable to find Ghanaian people, meet other African people. It's important that we maintain those connections together, so that no matter what, we always have each other's backs. We're always there for one another.
You're saying as well, like if let's say you're in Ontario, Toronto per se, and there's a
Mm.
Ghanaian like association of Ghanaians, please do join there. Like make sure we have Ghana Canada House. We need to join it because that's how everybody joins in, and then you can put, like you said, your input can be used in there. Like you can get to know people who are in maybe in the field of education. They can help you out to know, oh, maybe I can go through that way. So it's very important to be involved in a community because the community we benefit from the community anyway because a lot of people have experience as before us. They came here a long time ago, and we are growing up to be like just to have an idea and be better than what they had. Maybe they had something else that we couldn't get, but we're getting it from the benefit that they brought, the foundation that they laid for us as upcoming youth that's growing up in upcoming generations. So very important. Like they say, there's Ghana Independence Day celebration going on. Unfortunately for us in Montreal here, we don't have because of the COVID restrictions that we had here. But but over the years we had Ghana independence. We have the story of Ghana's being shown in here. The tribes, the various tribes dances that we have, like the Adua, the
Mm-hmm.
Abacha, everything like everything. You get to see all. I find that we all come together to showcase our culture for that Ghana month, especially Ghana Independence Day. We all come with us at church. We showcase our culture. We showcase our tribes. And it's very beautiful to see that like our parents are implementing their their Ghanaian tribe that they had into us for us to view it at such beautiful occasions. So it's very important that to join those Ghana independence celebration, to be part of it, just to view, get to know the story about Ghana. I think it will help us and to fight the cultural identity crisis we have. It's good to know the Canadian and the Quebec um, culture, but
Mm-hmm.
always important. Always, like you said, we're born Ghanaians, regardless of being born in Canada.
Absolutely.
Our blood is Ghanaian,
Absolutely.
regardless. So it's very important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's very funny.
So
Like sometimes you ask the people, "Oh, what are you?" I'm a Canadian. I'm like, "You're born to a Ghanaian parents, so you have a Ghanaian blood." I say, oh, they
uh-huh.
say, "Oh, yeah, you're right." I'm like, "Yes, because you're born in Canada, but your root goes back to Ghana." So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
it's very interesting, very interesting.
Here's so no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If and again, I just want to touch on something very important. Okay,
Mhm.
what at least what I've noticed with a lot of the community events in Montreal is that although many of us will show up to these events to celebrate our identity, our culture, who we are as a people, after those events are done, we just go back to live our normal lives. You just go back and say, oh, you just go back and say, oh, I have to go to work. I have to go to work tomorrow. I have to go to work on Monday. Oh, I can't concern myself with the culture, with organizing events for the youth to make sure they have their culture. And then I guess what I'm saying here is that it's easy to talk big, but not to back it up with action, right? Back it up, and it will always be the same people who say, oh, and who ask, oh, how come our youth are losing their identity as Ghanaian people? And then when ideas are suggested as to how to do it, those are the people who say, oh, I don't have the time, or I don't have the time. I'm too busy with work. I'm too busy with school. I can't. They say, oh, they cannot make the time, or they cannot, you know, dedicate themselves to their cause. I guess that's the first thing I want to say in terms of the cultural identity crisis. The second thing I wanted to say is that if you so happen to be the only Ghanaian person in your place of work, in your place of business, or in your school, do your again, and it goes back to what we just said. Do your very best to showcase your culture. Showcase your culture. If other people are annoyed, it's okay. Let them be annoyed. What matters is showcasing yourself as a Ghanaian, being able to explain to others what Ghanaian people are all about in terms of music, culture, our values as a people, right? You see this all the time on like TikTok, for example. You see a lot of like white kids talk about, oh, I went to Ghana, oh, I eat fufu and banku and jollof, and they say, and oh, I like it. See, but that's the thing. Like, what I'm saying is that white people should not be the ones educating us about our own culture. It should be us. It should be us educating the white people about our other people about our culture, right? Because we are best placed to understand the history, right? And I'll summarize by saying, do your part as Ghanaians, especially the youth who are listening to this call. Do your part, and in standing on your own 2 feet and saying, "Oh, I am Ghanaian. I am proud to be Ghanaian. This is what I believe in. This is where I see myself going. This is how I want to. This is how I see myself as Ghanaian in school, in work, in our place of business, with my friends, with my family. Do it, please."
I work. I have a few of my coworkers asking me like, I see this beautiful thing on Facebook. What is that? Like they talk about the kente. I'm like, oh, do we have different type? I have some kente, like not the heavy. I have the heavy ones and I have like the material ones too. I say, oh, that's what we use mostly for. You see, for engagements that we see right now, like traditional weddings. Like, oh, it's so beautiful. How do you do it? I'm like, oh, like that's how it is done. But we have different colors. Like some people choose their own colors. Some they buy at the store. So it really depends. Like it's very expensive though, but and then they get interested because they want to know more because they see that our colors, what makes Ghana beautiful is the colors, the rich colors that we use for our kentes, for the food we do. Like you said, jollof rice. Sometimes I bring jollof rice and I make them try. I'm like, look, I'm warning you, it is spicy. I remember my coworker took the rest of the jollof rice home. Like she took it home with the shit on. She took it. Like I don't. Nobody should touch it. I'm taking it. She took it, and then guess what? She took it. She took and she ate it off. And that night she sent me a message. Oh, thank you so much for that jollof rice. I really loved it. Like make more and let me know, and I'll eat. And then it makes you feel good that at least your culture is being accepted in other places like work. So it's very interesting, like what we can do to showcase our culture. So we'll take a short, yeah. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Are you an African parent who is looking to engage your child in an educational program? AfriCanada Hub is a non-profit organization that aims to elicit the creative and leadership skills in the Black child. Register your child today in our ongoing book clubs and leadership programs by calling or texting 416-939-0530 or by visiting our website at www.africanadahub.org. AfriCanada Hub. We are all capable.
All right, welcome back. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube, The Footstep Show. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and YouTube at The Footstep Show. And if you have any comments, please put it out there. We're going to read it throughout our discussion today. I go by the name of C, and today my guest is Caleb, while we'll be talking about the Ghana Month, the Cultural Identity Crisis. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Yes. So, as we talk about like how we need to be involved, like you said, it's very important to showcase our culture. We shouldn't be afraid to show our culture. So, in your view, did your cultural values that had an effect on you regarding for work, school, or any particular place that you find yourself in that was very hard for you to showcase your culture?
That's that's a good question. Actually, it's a good question. Like here's let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example. We as Ghanaian people, we love to express our creativity as a people through the clothes we wear or through by hair. Hair is an important example. Here's a good example. Okay, a couple days ago, I was with a really good friend of mine, and I was talking to him about perhaps growing my hair to a particular style, and he asked me, wouldn't that be inappropriate for where you work? Okay, he why he mentioned, so just for context, I work for the government of Canada, and oftentimes, depending on the people you work with, they may disincentivize or disencourage you from showcasing your culture or showcasing your identity because it's not viewed as professional, right? In other words, it's unprofessional. Although that may not be specific to Ghana, it's large. It's part of a larger problem of of Black people and African people not being able to effectively and proudly showcasing their culture wherever they work or wherever they work wherever they work and the schools they attend, right? It's very difficult. I would say although I don't have any examples, I'll just summarize by saying school. I would say school, like at younger ages, it's easier to express your cultural identity as a Ghanaian. But as you get older, as you mature into adulthood, and you want to make friends at school and at work, you're sometimes pressured to downplay or to reduce your identity to a few visual items, such as wearing the Ghana necklace, or wearing jewelry, or wearing clothing that's not as colorful or as attractive, because again it's viewed as unprofessional. It's viewed as uncommon, and a lot of higher up people, let's say, would not view that enthusiastically or properly or happily, right? So it's a struggle, and I've experienced that. I experienced that with my coworkers, with friends that I've made in the past. It's definitely a struggle, and I oftentimes I've been given looks from people asking, wait, why is he wearing that? Why is he wearing that at a formal event, because they don't view, for example, the kente cloth as being part of like formal business attire, for example, right? For example, say you've been, like, I don't know how many of our viewers have attended, let's say, white people weddings. White people. There's an expectation that you show up wearing like a very nice suit, right? To be part of the wedding, or to showcase yourself as a wedding guest. If you go in wearing like the kente cloth, or wearing anything that's viewed as beyond the norm, or viewed as not being part of the bigger picture, let's say, you'll get looks. You'll definitely get looks. I've experienced it. I don't know if you, Cecilia, you've experienced it yourself. I know. Are not Ghanaian friends of mine, but I know other African friends of mine have experienced it as well. I'll leave it there, because I'm sure you have a lot to. I'm sure you have a lot to
Me,
contribute to.
I'm trying to. I've experienced it. Like you said, actually a funeral. I went to a funeral.
Mm,
A coworker of mine's funeral. I went. She had lost one of her parents, and I went and I wore like the yintuma that we had, like a top.
mm,
Like something black and red. So I said, okay, let me wear that. And the eyes I got, I'm like, it's just because everybody was like wearing, like you said, like the color, like the suits and the dresses, the skirt, and here you are wearing the top. I was wearing a top with a black pants, just to be, because it was kind of cold, so I didn't want to wear the full attire. But the eyes I got, I'm like, guys, it's just a shirt. It's just my culture. It's who I am. It's part of who I am. So, like you said, it's very hard. Like you said, peer pressure comes in, and then the norm comes in. Like You can't wear that. Like maybe if you're in a Ghanaian community program, yes, it's fine, it's free to do so. But like you said, going to a wedding like outside your culture is very hard because
Mm.
you have all these beautiful outfits you want to wear, but at the same time you think, oh, you think wouldn't it be too much? Like wouldn't they ask me questions? Wouldn't they give me eyes? Wouldn't they be judgmental about it? So like you said, it's very very hard to wear like your African attire to such like you said, white people's event, like other events that
Mm-hmm.
is not Ghanaian. You know what I mean? So like you
Mm-hmm.
said, very very
Mm-hmm.
hard. But I think, like you said, I think with education and being Ghana month, I think like I said in the beginning, people need to like understand that it's part of who we are in this Canadian society. So it is what it is. I'm like sometimes I wear like like let's say World Cup is coming up or like African Cup of Nations. I'll wear my jersey at work. And I even suggested, oh, we should do sports day at work because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us have our jerseys. They're like France. Some people we have people from France. Some people from Mali and Algeria, Morocco, all that. So I think if we can have like a day of sports to represent our jersey, I think it would be nice. So just to show our cultural like where we're from and everything. But like you said, peer pressure comes in, and then you're scared to be judged by the other people around you. So like I've experienced that like where I wore something to an event and I got all eyes checked on me because it was out of the norm, like you said. So very very important. I don't know if you want to add more to it.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very out of the norm. And again, I don't know if any of our viewers have experienced this as well. You know, how would I say this? How would I say this? Receiving those looks from your
Mm-hmm.
colleagues, from your work colleagues, or from your schoolmates, asking, "Wait, why are you wearing this at school? Why are you wearing this at work?" Right? And you'll get those looks, and you'll feel guilty. You'll feel guilty for even expressing your culture, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's that guilt that we as Ghanaian people need to overcome. We have to overcome that
Yeah.
guilt, and unshamefully and proudly demonstrate, and showcase who we are as Ghanaian people. We are as Ghanaian people, and yes, we have to understand that. Yes, there are rules in terms of professionalism, saying, oh, if you work in an office, you have to dress appropriately for the office, right? Your office, but you're able, if flexibility is provided, if flexibility is provided, you should take advantage, and wear wear something that showcases, expresses the culture, right? The culture, right? So that's how I see it. That's definitely how I see it. It's again, it's something we have to overcome as Ghanaian people.
Yes, you're right. Like I remember a picture day. I wore picture day at school for my where I work. I wore two African tops. And I said it's cute.
Mm.
It was like I remember one of my coworkers like, and then the following year, 2 years after, I decided to go local. Like let me wear something casual. And a comment came in like, at least finally you're not wearing any more this African cloth. I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, I didn't want to, but I felt like this year I wanted to be a bit local and wear like some like a something casual for picture day, So it was what I wanted to wear. Every year can change, but it was very like shocking. But it wasn't shocking, but at the same time shocking to me to see that I hear this kind of comment coming that finally you're not wearing anymore that African cloth. You look beautiful without it. I'm like no, that's who it's part of who I am, you know
Mm-hmm.
it's part of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm allowed to wear if I want. If I feel comfortable wearing it, why not? I'll wear it, to be
Mm-hmm.
proud of where I'm from. So, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
like like us Ghanaians, we shouldn't be we shouldn't show guilt. Rather, be proud of where you're from. Be proud to wear your African clothes. Like you said, if there's room for improvement to wear it, then wear it. Don't be scared
Mm-hmm.
to showcase your culture. It's very important,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why then comes again that if you want to invite your friends, let's say they saw you they saw like Facebook, social media, how people posting stuff, and then they tag you and say, oh, but I saw you dance, why don't you invite me? I'm like, if I invite you, you're gonna be judgmental, like that's some of the ideas
Yeah.
for you to have, like if I invite you, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
judgmental. So what's the point to invite you
Mm-hmm.
to such events? You can watch it on
Of
Facebook or whatever
course.
to have an idea.
Of
So
course.
it's very hard to invite like non-Ghanaian people to come, because like you want them to come, at the same time you're scared of the judgment you give afterwards. You don't want to give them wrong impression about your culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
we know that it is the norm for the Nananum to come and dance, but for them it's because it's too long. Why is it so long? So it becomes very judgmental, you know.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
very
no.
hard to invite like your non-Ghanaian
It's
friends to
it's
such
very
event, you
hard.
know.
It's very hard. It's very hard. I'll
It's
give
very
you.
hard.
I'll give you and our viewers two stories of mine. Two stories of mine.
Okay,
A couple.
okay,
A couple years ago. I invited three white friends of mine to attend the Ghana Day picnic. The Ghana Day
yes.
picnic in Montreal. Okay. All three attended. They asked me, "Oh, what time does it start at?" And with Ghanaian people, we say one time, but it actually starts at a different time. It starts 4 hours later. Anyway, that's one thing. So I invited three of my white friends to come to the Ghana Day picnic. Okay, they showed up. They arrived. And then they asked me, "Oh, so what can you do at the Ghana Day picnic?" Oh, I said, "Oh, we have food. We have the dancing contest with the basketball tournament. If you guys want to join, feel free to join. Right? Feel free to
Mm-hmm.
join." They stayed. So they stayed for what, like 3 4 hours, and then at the end of the event, they all came to me and said, "Oh, I had a great time. It was great. It was great getting to know you, meeting the people from the community. It was very very great. Very very great." They since then they have asked me, "Oh, when is the next event? I would love to come again."
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to eat more jollof rice. When will you bring jollof? When will you bring jollof rice next time? Next time we hang out. Next time we see each
Yeah.
other, please. I want to eat the rice. I need recommendations for Ghanaian music. I want to immerse myself in the culture, and I would tell them, I can send you what I know and what I have, no problem, no problem. But understand that this is my culture, this is how I see things, and if you want to share it with other people, feel free to do so. This is we
Mm-hmm.
want to share our culture to the rest of the world, and if any of our viewers have any friends or coworkers who would love to know more about the Ghanaian culture, invite them to events. Invite them to events. It is the first way to showcase. It's the first way for them to meet people like you in the community, or who live close to them, who work with them.
You're right. So all our youth, our children viewers, please invite your friends if they want to know more about the Ghana culture. Don't let them find out from the year of return activities, or let them travel together
Mm-hmm.
themselves. Oh, you're Ghanaian, but you haven't been to Ghana. So like show them the culture, like show them. I remember one story, like I was volunteering in a community center where I used to live, and there was a time they were asking me a question about Ghana, what can they eat? So I said, oh, there's a restaurant back then, Aphrodisiac. Back then that
Mm-hmm.
was there by Auntie Amagana. So back then her restaurant. So I said, oh. So I called her up. I said, listen, I have three friends. One was from France and two are from here. So I said, I have three friends of mine that would like to eat our culture. So I made them a menu of what they can eat, like something. So at the end of the day, they had jollof, and I think some stew, and it was very nice for them. It was spicy though, but they enjoyed it. So next time we'll come back again. Like, it was an experience for them to see how the restaurant was and the atmosphere of the restaurant that gave them the vibe that, oh, next time I'll come back. So I think one of them even bought takeaway food for to go. Yes, actually, but like so many people, they have like park extension. There's so many like Indian
Yeah.
restaurants, but they close. Like they say, okay, you know what? I'm tired of Indian restaurant. Let me go to this restaurant. So I showed them that place. We all went together to eat. It was I think a Tuesday evening, a weeknight that we went, and they enjoyed it. They had fun, and like I said, one of them even did take away to go home and eat the rest of the food, and it was very nice to see that. Very rewarding that at least your culture is being, it has an effect on other people to learn food, like the other food, not only like McDonald's or whatever, but at least there's other cultural food that they can eat and like
Mm-hmm.
enjoy. I tried this Indian food, I tried this Ghanaian food, let me try others, so they can try and be part of the diversity that we're always talking about, right? So I think it's very important to showcase our culture around in so many ways. And guess what? People
Absolutely.
will show. It's time to embrace our culture. Very important to embrace our culture that we're coming
Absolutely.
from. I know it's
Absolutely.
hard.
Absolutely.
It's very hard, like today, but I think that with time, if we talk with our parents, with friends that we know that who are Ghanaians and or even other like African background, I think it's very important. I remember I have my Nigerian friend. She always invite me, oh, let's go to this picnic, just to know about Nigerian independence, Nigerian culture, how they go. And it's fun, like even though I'm a Ghanaian, it's very fun to know what other African cultures are also doing. So it's very important to not only learn about Ghana, but also learn about the other, because we have so many things in common. Like maybe for them, like let's say Ghana, we know fufu is made this, but maybe if you go to like Ivory Coast and other places, they have another way of calling fufu, but they have the other way of how they eat it. So it's very interesting to know like how the other cultures call different meals, the same meal, but they have the different ways how they do it, right? So it's very, very important. And what is your take home message as we're coming to an end with this program this day? What is your take home message for our
My
guests?
so my take home message for our guests and our viewers and our listeners is yes, although it's very hard to express our culture in where we are, Canada. Don't feel ashamed. Be proud. Be proud. Be proud. Be resilient and don't be shy to answer questions from people about Ghana. Don't be shy. If someone you know wants to travel to Ghana, you explain to them what Ghana is. You tell them from point A to point Z. You tell them what Ghana is. You explain who we are. You describe to them who we are as a people. This is who we are as Ghanaians. This is what we value. This is what we cherish. This is where we see ourselves in the world. We are a proud people. We are a proud people. Although we are very small in Montreal, for example, the important thing is you talk about who we are. You don't shy away. You explain to people why Ghana is Ghana today, right? We are celebrating our 65th independence. There's a reason why we've lasted this long, and it's time for us to understand why, and to continue our proud, cherished history for the next 65 years to come. That is the take home message to everyone watching us this afternoon. So again, yeah, that is my take home message to everyone. Please,
Great,
please,
great,
please, please,
great. So
please, please.
I have some comments that I saw on Facebook. I'm going to read one
Mhm.
from Andrea Gauthier with emoji hearts. One from EB Ronke who says embracing the culture, which is very true. And we have some fire emojis going on. And thank you so on behalf of the Footstep Show, like Caleb, thank you so much to share your experience as a Canadian born to Ghanaian parents. It's very understanding, cool to know that how you went through, and also to share my view as well. But I think we share a lot in common about like how it's very important to show our culture. I know it is very hard, like you said, it's very hard to show our culture, but we shouldn't be afraid to show our culture to our friends and
Mhm.
to show people. Like I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was making noise. Hey, this weekend is my country's Independence Day. It's Ghana Independence Day. So I was blasting music, Ghanaian music with the kids. I with the kids, so we were blasting music with the kids. They didn't understand, but it was fun to know. Like, and they were like, "Oh, what's going on? Oh, it's my country independence." I'm showing them the music. So it was very fun to
Mhm.
blast some Afrobeat songs with the kids. They love to dance, so it was very fun to showcase that. It was very fun. So it's very important
Absolutely,
to
absolutely.
showcase your cultural, like even though we have a Canadian one, it's very important to not forget about where we're coming from or where our parents are coming from. And also,
Mhm.
please, if you get a chance, visit Ghana this year if you can, or even the next year, add it to your bucket list. As a Ghanaian person, you should visit Ghana. It's very beautiful and
It's very beautiful.
very beautiful. So, on behalf of my team and myself, I want to say thank you so much, Caleb, for honoring our invitation for this Ghana month. And
Thank you
we
for
hope to see
having
you
me.
again. Yes, yes. I hope to
Absolutely,
have you
absolutely.
again on our
Thank you.
show for
You,
any
you have my
topics. And
coordinates.
yes, thank you so much.
Thank you
So,
for
on
having me.
behalf of the yes, it's a pleasure. So, on behalf of the Footsteps, I want to say thank you to everybody, our church viewers for today. Happy Independence Day. As we all know, tomorrow, 6th March, it's Ghana Independence. So we'll see each other in 2 weeks' time. And till then, happy birthday, Ghana, in advance. 65 years. So happy birthday, Ghana. And I see you guys in 2 weeks' time. So have a great evening and have a blessed week.